Hello, my friends, and welcome. Welcome to another episode where I review Romanian fountain pens. This time I have two Scholar fountain pens made by FLARO in CBU in the late 70s and the beginning of the 1980s. And I have two models, and their name is imprinted on the clip. So I have the first model of Pescăruș, or in English translation, Seagull. So it's a bird. And the next one is the second variant of this model, Pescăruș 2, or Seagull number 2. As you can see, these are quite small fountain pens. And for a comparison, I have with me the modern Caveco Sport, and you can see the difference between them. I will also leave the dimensions of the fountain pens on the screen, both of FLARO Pescăruș and FLARO Pescăruș number 2. And as you can see, they are quite simple fountain pens. They were made for the school market, and they are made from plastic, as you can see in this attractive transparent body, but they were not meant to last a large period of time. They were quite reasonable priced for the school children to afford them. I will start with the first model. Approximately, this model was made from 1975 till 1982. We have a plastic body, the cap unscrews, and it reveals this fountain pen. It is quite simple, and I will show it to you. It is a piston filler, so when you turn this turning knob, you can see it move through the transparent body. It can be easily disassembled and cleaned. You take this part off, and let me analyze this part for you. So it's made of one part, a simple molded plastic. It has this simple steel nib. Interesting. If I will I will zoom on it to show you that it has not an iridium tip. It's just the steel tip of this nib. Interesting, the feed is transparent, as you can see. It's made out of transparent plastic. This has the role to regulate the ink, so it has a big role in the ink flow. It is cut in half to simply regulate the ink flow. This is the body. As you can see, it's quite easy to disassemble and clean. One of the features of a nice school fountain pen. The design is striated here, like the on the cap, like on the end of the gripping point. And practically the name Pescăruș and the logo FLARO, they are imprinted in this metallic clip band. We also have a ring here, also a metallic ring, and this is practically our little fountain pen. Now let's move on to the second model. You can see the same Pescăruș, but this time the FLARO logo is here, and we have Pescăruș number 2. We have a difference, as you can see, on the turning knob. This time is not striated, but it has those lines, those faceted lines that offer you a little grip. This time a quite transparent body, and also the cap unscrews to reveal this section, which you can see it's a little bit different from the other section in the sense that it's a little bit longer, and the nib seems to be the same nib but with quite a little difference. Let me show it to you. The feed is made out of plastic, but we don't have the transparent plastic, but a blue feed that matches the color of the body of this fountain pen. So let me turn the turning knob, as you can see. Quite nice. So both of them little fountain pens for the school children. You can see they are made out of simple materials, but they don't have the property of lasting a long time. Even the nib, it hasn't that iridium tip. So guys, those are affordable fountain pens for school children with those interesting semi-hooded nibs. Quite interesting products. I like them a lot. I think they were reasonable priced for young children to have access to them, and there are not many of them left. So I have in my possession the two variants of this product. I think they were made in different colors, but in my collections are only these two fountain pens. Since I've started collecting in 2017, I never saw this model on the market. So I think it is quite a rare model. And maybe the Caveco will take notice of the design, and maybe they will do a model with an integrated piston like those little models. I don't think it's quite expensive, guys, but of course we are talking about the quality control, which on the Romanian models from the 1970s was let's say poorly done, and on a German-made model, even a modern model from Caveco, yes, I think they need to deliver a product that would stand the test of time and will distinguished from other pens that are currently made in China. But if the communist industries in Romania can do the job, I think also Caveco can do the job in our modern times. So guys, this was my review with both of the fountain pens. I'm sorry, but I think that they were never inked, so we will do, of course, the writing sample. And for the writing sample, I will choose a simple Parker Quick ink for the blue one, and for the other one, the orange one, I will choose a red ink from Faber-Castell. So bear with me, guys. For the writing sample, you know that I like to change the angle of the camera for you to have a better view of the notebook. Okay. And now let us start. I will put the Caveco aside. And now, guys, we will start the written sample. Of course, I left the dimensions at the beginning of the video, and you can check them out there. So I will start with this one. So it's not a big deal cleaning it, but it is a little hassle, so I just will use it just deep because it is the same experience in my point. Here we have the Parker Quick ink. And remember, guys, this is the Seagull number 2, so the Pescăruș number 2. I will dip it in ink, remove the excess ink. Why not give it a little swipe with the tissue. In case you are wondering, let's see if it can be posted. Yes, it can. Look at those little details. So there are teeth marks over here, and there are also teeth marks. Oh, look at what interesting thing. So with the cap on, I can operate the piston filling. Look. Oh, and this has the same texture as this one. So nice little feature. By the way, guys, teeth marks over here. So quite a nice feature. So simply put the cap here and you can operate it and fill it with ink. Let me see if we have no, we don't have ink. Maybe now. So guys, this is a FLARO Pescăruș, model number 2, or Seagull. Okay, made in Romania in the late 1970s, so from 1975 till approximately 1983. Okay, let's remove the excess of the ink. Okay, so it has a steel nib. It appears to be an M nib, M from medium, a medium nib. I'm not expecting line variation or flex, so no flex. Okay, let me see if I can reverse write it with it. Reverse. No, it scratches, so definitely a no here. Let me... Okay, let me see how I can do a signature with it. Yes, quite nice. And the variation, let me see. First of all, the juicy test. Yes, we have a quite juicy nib. And now the line variation, so no pressure, and here pressure. So we have, yes, a little line variation. And we have a little bit of scratch. Now let me tell you guys about the Fox. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So apart for it being a little scratchy, I think it is a nice nib, although it hasn't the iridium tip. I will leave it here. And now let's do the same thing with our orange Seagull, the original Seagull. First of all, I'm curious. Oh, sorry. So this has a little bit of problem here. I'm not so sure how to address it. Maybe it lacks a little part that hold it initially. So I want to test this, guys. I want to see. Yes. So this can't be operated like the other one. So I wondered why they changed this design, and this is the answer. Because doing a faceted cap can also action this piston knob. So interesting. They made a nice little modification. So guys, because it falls from here, I will try to hold it like this and write it like this with it. So you already saw that it can be kept, and I will leave it kept because it is quite small. But also you can leave it unkept. So I have here the ink. and fast. I will dip it in ink, and I hope that I can reach it. Okay. So let me see if I can write with it. So I have here the FLARO Pescăruș, the simple one, so model 1, or the Seagull. So this definitely made in the late 1970s, and I believe that in the 1980s we are already talking about the Seagull number 2. And again, a steel nib, quite simple without the iridium tipping. Let me see the line. Definitely no flex to it. Let me see how juicy it is. This is a medium juiced nib. Now let me see the line variation. So no pressure, and here pressure. Definitely no line variation. It's quite a stiff nib, guys. Let me try to reverse write with it. Reverse writing. I'm quite impressed. Yes, it can do the reverse writing without scratching and without the ink flow problems. Let me see now how I can do a signature with it. Yes, quite nice. And now I'm ready to write about the fox, but I don't have ink anymore, so I will simply dip it again. Let me see. Okay, now let me tell you about the fox. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Quite a nice writer. The nib seems the same. Maybe this scratch a little bit. This is wonderful on the orange one. So guys, this was my review of two interesting fountain pens. School fountain pens made in communist Romania in the late 70s and the beginning of the 1980s. I like them a lot. I never seen them on the market since I started collecting fountain pens in 2017. But you know that I recently bought a large FLARO collection, and it was a surprise to see those in that collection. Indeed, small fountain pens, interesting fountain pens. I don't know how many of them survived till our present times, because you can see the materials used were quite inferior, and one of the reasons is for the low price and their place in the market back then. They maybe had a lifetime of 10 years in the hands of school children. You know that you need quite resistant pieces made out with quite resistant materials. Guys, this was my review of the FLARO Pescăruș, or the FLARO Seagull in English translation. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I certainly did enjoy it. I want to wish you to have a nice day wherever you are. So, I'm sorry. Maybe this will do the trick. So, guys, have a nice day wherever you are. I thank you for your time. If you've enjoyed this little episode, please subscribe to my channel to support my activity. Of course, I promise you to bring new episode with interesting written instruments. I want to thank you again for your time. Have a nice day. We will see each other on the next episode. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Bye bye, my friends.